Hey, this is Boat Doctor. Hey, this is a shout out to one of my YouTube followers. Hey, this is a dandy boat, but let me start with this. Hey, Chris from Washington, you got a beautiful boat here, buddy. 1550 Fisher, one of my favorite little boats. This sucker will go anywhere. I've had one of these with 4 guys. That's 5 of us with a 60 horse out in the ocean out there. Yeah, and one of the guys said, "You sure we're supposed to be out here today?" It was a little choppy, but this sucker's so stable. It's like a little fishing bobber. It just rides up and down, no leaning, no breaching, no spinning, bow dunking. It's a beautiful boat. Anyway, I have my number one thing is when I come down here, guaranteed once a day, people must watch from up here, down there, and they see me putting the boats in by myself from a 14 up to a 40 footer, and they ask me, "Man, that is a slick way you do your ropes." But you know, I don't think nothing of it, but I learn something new every day, and I have to do it by myself, so I got to find the easiest way and the safest way. So I'm going to go through that. He asked me if I wouldn't do a video for him, and that's what I'm going to do, Chris. First of all, he bought this boat from somebody else. These are dynamite. They're unsinkable. They're foam filled. You got G3 tubing, you got chamber, a life ring that goes from there all the way around to that point. Then you got chamber. So like you say, and the main hole, so you'd virtually have to poke a hole in the bottom of the boat, a hole in every chamber, and you still probably wouldn't sink. But I'm going to go through the boat real quick. You got swing tongue, 2-inch ball, spare tire, carrier. Okay, on this, what I would do, this is setting pretty level. That's how you want them, but that spare tire hits down pretty low. So you may want to jack it up so it lifts a little bit. I know it's going to be tongue light, or figure a way to mount that tire up higher, because that tire is going to hit if you go out of a, hey Mr. Seal, how you doing? You getting warmed up on your back? Anyway, back to the tire. If you go out a driveway, it could hit and drag as you're going out the driveway. So, and I don't know if you can go, I don't think, no, you can't even go up higher there. But that's just a tidbit. You got, for a bow mount, you can put it right here. They already put it. You got a cleat, you got the tilt out window, you got the windscreen, side curtains, top. Do not tow down the road like I'd say 45 miles an hour, 50 at all, or you'll lose that top, I guarantee you. So back to the trailer is channel. Bonus on the trailer being a channel, you don't get that water sitting in the cross members. You know, these channels here, even if it's galvanized, they're going to rust out through time. Water's going to stay in there even though they got weep holes. But you got all these bends. That's important. You don't have to go as thick on the aluminum when you do the bends. Every bend makes it stronger, and they got really good welds on these. And you'll see your reverses. You got here, and then this, and then it transitions that one all the way back. And this has got the arrow design that shoots the water this way. So you see a lot of boats will come up like this and all the way back. And what will happen there, water will spray inside the boat. This deflects the water and shoots it out that way. Anyway, them reverses really helping this arrow design. They just glide. They get probably 40% better fuel economy than most boats. Takes less power to push them with that. Got a cleat up there. What I would say, probably you don't have a cleat like anywhere in here. I had to tie off to the front, and I'll show you that in a minute. If I would probably, this is a chamber, so you don't want to do it in here. You could probably put it over here or here. I would have put a cleat right here if it was me. The reason being, and I'll show you when I get to the rope tie that I told Chris I do for him, is you got the pop out buddy bearings, so you don't have to, these are like a 5 or 10 year, you don't have to check them. Basically they're sealed. License plate light, ladder. If you got a 90, let me see, 75, 80. So this is plenty power for this boat. Actually, it's just about right. You got your 3-blade aluminum, and it's a 13 by 15. That there's for the side chambers here. That plug's for the side chamber there. That plug there's for the main deck. And that one there's for the bow, right there. Let me see, it's a 2023. Got your non-skids, you got your rub rail here, plus here, shine guide, which makes it nice. Top that swings down, cup holders, pole holders, and notice they have an angle out here, cup holder tackle. Then this one they have going out here, so that way your poles, you got one here, one out here, so they don't get tangled. Smart move. Now I don't know when you bought it, but your gas fill's there. Just got some stuff probably sitting outside. You got leaves. At this time of year you get that. That there's your valve for your pickup for your wash down. Say if you had a leak somewhere and you couldn't find it, I mean it's pretty basic in this boat. There's your thing, you just follow the line down, you'll see where it's leaking. But if not, you turn that valve and it'll shut the water off down there. You got your little blue valve, that's your fuel shut off. And remind me to tell you about that, a little secret. Primer bulb, pump it up. Now a lot of people say, well, why do you pump that every day? It's just to be sure, you know, you never know. That way I know I've done it, because you don't want to run them dry and rely on the fuel pump if say the bulb was empty. Now I got on battery 1. I'm going to go ahead, and a lot of times I don't turn that on until I put the boat in the water, but when I pre-check it I turn it on. You got dual batteries. I think we did that for the guy. When I launch it, if it's cold like it is now, it's cold. I brought my heater too. Not that you really need it because of these curtains and stuff. But what I do here too, these here's the Velcro part. It always comes undone here. They lost it evidently, or it's stuck to this. But if you got some Velcro, that double-sided, you could put here, so then this would stick. And if it falls off, you know it's gonna happen, I know it will. Try some of that alien tape. I don't know if that would work, but you could put your alien tape, put the one part of the Velcro on that and the other part on this, and maybe it will hold. But when I'm doing this, I'll keep this side down. And what I did is, because I've had some issues, you know, neck, heart, and all that good stuff, so I got to work smarter, not harder. So first thing I do is I see what the tides are doing, okay, right now. So then that tells me which way the boat's going to go. If there was no wind at all, so you had a 3 to 4 mile an hour tide going out, and it wants to push you to the, like today, it's coming out of the southeast, basically. So that wind's going to carry me this way, right? Now I get a bigger boat, I would have to get out of that truck really fast, and this is why I'm going to show you this line deal that you were asking about, how I do it. But if that boat took off and I put it over there and that wind's blowing this way, that boat, I got to get out and hurry up and grab that line and tie it off quick, because once it takes off, I play hell trying to get it back. So if you look at the wind coming out of the south, I would be docking over here to the north, because that wind would just hold it up against there. So I got plenty of time to go and tie it off and all that good stuff. Now that's the wind, so you got wind and current. So say you got a 3 mile an hour current, but you got a 10 mile an hour wind. Okay, the wind's going to outdo the say out of the south. You got that wind, but you got an incoming, which is going to drive you to the south, but the wind's coming out of the south, which is going to blow you to the north, but the wind is stronger than the current. So I'm going to go where the wind is, so I would be putting my bumpers over here, which I did today. And what I do there, if I look at my watch right here, and I got right here my windage that tells me which direction the wind's coming off of the watch, and it's east southeast at 3 miles an hour. So between the current and the wind, it's about equal, so it really wouldn't matter if I put it in on the south or the north side. But I'm thinking about once I get out here, the tide change, and if the wind changes or gets stronger, that way I don't have to switch them when I'm out in the water coming back. Is if I know it's coming out of the south again, tide's coming in, but it's not a big change, then I could be perfect coming in with them on my north side. So anyway, back to that. So when I'm putting it in, I already figured out the wind, the current, and all that good stuff, where to put the bumpers. So I know I'm coming in this side. I leave this one closed and I come in like this. And then I come in, I got my heater, but here, just to get out of the wind, I may not even need that, because actually it's nice and warm in here, believe it or not. And this turned on. Now I'm going to go through and set this whole thing up for you. I can tell you right here in enable, and I'll show you how to do a lot of this stuff here too. I can turn this power off. I'm going to go back. I'm going to adjust this where you is set for power on units on power up, but I'll do it where you have to physically hit that, because sometimes if you don't disable your sonars, you don't want that sonar pinging on asphalt. Okay, so we're going to go back here. Oh, cancel, back. But I'm going to go home real quick, and I'm going to go to charts, right here. And then say I want the navigation charts. Okay, zoom in. Now if you notice, I got my speed in little boxes in the corners, your data corners. So I'll change that over to a side, and you'll have a lot more options, especially with your fuel management stuff you got out of your, I think you got fuel management, I'll tell in a minute. You need a fuel flow sensor for that, so I can tell under device list. But all this is going to change. This is what I do. This comes preset. Garmin has a lot more presets. They got built-in base maps like what you got here. You can also buy a Navionic Plus card. G2 Vision is called Navionic Plus. But that gives you aerial photos, speeds up your processing, enhances your sonars, and they're a couple $100. But they're kind of worth it, especially for the speed. But so all these, they will come base. Like see everything's in the corner right there, not set to our location. So that's what I'm going to do today. It'll take me a little over an hour to set that up. So then you got your bilge pump. They think you don't have deck force. It sounds like it's good. Anchor lights. The one up there is battery operated.